Hey everybody, this is Jeff, also known as Jackie Brown. All of my friends are making these It Gets Better videos to help prevent some of the future gay teen suicides, which is something very dear to my heart because I too, as a teen, tried to commit suicide and luckily was not successful. So I'm still here to talk about it, and I've kind of evolved, happy. Still weird, but anyway, I remember growing up. I grew up from in a small town, Billings, Montana, and my earliest recollection of being gay or having gay feelings was about 6th grade, when I kind of had a crush on my 6th grade teacher, Mark Jones. He was like the blonde Superman. He was big and muscular and just very good looking. And after that, I was like, what is this? And then, 7th, 8th grade came along. I had male teachers. I was like, wow, I really like my male teachers. And, yeah, so, long story short is, I had a really good friend who, I went to church my whole life, pretty much, when I was younger. Started at a Nazarene church, ended up in an Assembly of God church. And that's kind of where I put a name on what my feelings were, because they taught about, Leviticus and I'm going to hell because I'm gay, and I used to feel really horrible about that. But, I always had these affirming friends that, I had a really good friend that, I really had mad love for. It's probably the first time I'd ever felt feelings of love and, for someone, I wanted it to be more than just a friendship. So that's when I knew. That was when I was pretty much knew that it was a serious thing, and this is who I was. I remember telling this person, and luckily they were a true Christian, and they didn't judge me. They gave me mad love, and not mad, I guess they tried to understand, but they didn't shun me, and I have them to thank for that, because I wouldn't be here today if that wasn't, the case. I just wish other Christians today would still, act the same way and act in a godly way and love everybody. Unfortunately, that's not the case, especially, when things get heated and people start to hear things in the news and the media that, that it's just not cool to be gay. But it is. It's okay. It really is. And it does get better. I remember, all the things I grew up, I always felt alone. I was the youngest of 5 kids, and all my brothers and sisters were older and married, and everybody was heterosexual, and just, I was the outcast. I was the one that felt weird and different. And I remember waking up one day asking God, God, if this is not the plan for my life, only you can change it. And oddly enough, He never did. And, and I thank God for being alive today, because I took a whole bunch of sleeping pills and didn't die. Just woke up with a really bad headache. And I remember going to high school, and, leaving my lights on, having to call people to come get me out of the parking lot. Does this make sense? Is it relevant? Editing. So, anyway, yeah, but still, even after that, I remember having the demons prayed out of me and all that stuff, and I just kind of really felt weird, and it was odd because I think my first sexual experience with a guy was with another church friend who actually went to another church. But, it was between the summer between my junior and senior year, and I think it was the summer between his sophomore and junior year. So we were young, 16, 17, and, it just kind of happened. I don't either of us were really trying to, but, he still to this day says he's heterosexual. I've adjusted. I'm cool with it. Oddly enough, I realized that I wasn't alone, that the 2 kids that lived next door to me growing up were both gay. My best friend in junior high, now gay. Another friend of ours, now gay. We're all gay. And I guess that was the common denominator that kind of probably brought us all together, because we were all struggling with that same thing. And I think we maybe subconsciously kind of knew it. And that's just how it was, And we were all kind of artsy-fartsy people. We sang in choir together, and I taught myself how to play the piano. And my best friend was an incredible piano player. He played piano at my brother's wedding. I used to sing and dance in beauty pageants, and I wore makeup, and, tend to like those things. But, I've been the whole gamut of being gay. I've done drag, I've, performed, I've been a singer, all the so-called artsy-fartsy things. I had a quick acting stint, didn't work out, obviously, because I'm not acting now. But, am older now, and I can look back and just tell, I can tell you that things are so easy. I mean, I grew up when AIDS had just come out, and everybody that was gay was labeled as some, faggot with AIDS, and you were so worried that someone was going to judge you, and think that if you were, it's bad enough, that you were afraid to let people know you were gay, but the second they found out you were gay, they thought you had AIDS. It was horrible. And I remember being on the street downtown in my hometown, and I pretty much passed for straight, I think, for the most part. But I remember this whole carload of like college guys got out of this car with baseball bats and just beat this guy on the street who wasn't even gay. He was straight. But here I was down the street witnessing this, going, oh my God, that was kind of supposed to be me. And I thought, wow. So I had to start changing a lot of my behavior just to, because of my situation where I was living. Then I moved out to Seattle, and I just got this freedom, being in the bigger city, having to, being able to just do what I wanted, and that wasn't really out to my family yet. Nobody really knew. I think they all probably figured it out, because, 21, 22, 23, maybe 24 was I. Still no girlfriend. But, I can honestly say that I think my gayness is genetic, because I have an older gay cousin and a younger gay cousin. And it's all on my mom's side. So there's someone on that side of the family, and there's probably going to be more to come. So get ready, So it's exciting. But I know some amazing people now, and I've had incredible friends over the years. I've dated some incredible people. I mean, I've had the gay fantasy of dating an NFL star. Who gets that? And I'm fat. Look how fat. Who's fat? It gets an NFL star. That's what's funny, because you have all this perception that being gay, you have to be pretty and skinny and all this stuff and muscles. You have to go to the gym and work out, and you have all these gay stereotypes. And anyway, so this is my video, and it does get better. And contact the Trevor Project. I want to put their link in my bottom of my video. And I love the fact that people are stepping up and doing this. And I normally probably wouldn't have done it either, but I see so many people that I know doing this, and I'm hearing their stories. And I realize that I have a story to tell too, because I'm not just someone who's gay. I'm also someone who also tried to commit suicide. And I feel for these people. And there's people like, you see Matthew Shepard, who didn't have a chance, and he was murdered, and he would have probably loved to have lived life right now. And then you're taking it away. It's just kind of it's a crime to yourself, because there's so much. I mean, it's just a temporary situation. Your depression, whatever. And I always learned something that stuck with me in church. One of the things our pastor used to say was, delays are never denials, and God doesn't take you through rough waters to drown you, but to cleanse you. And all the things you're going through now are temporary, and they will go away. And you have friends around you that care about you. You probably have family. Most of you, I'm hoping. Not everybody is lucky, but I was fortunate to have a really good family, and people still, I'm just who I am. And I'm weird, because I'm weird on the internet, so let's not go there. But, yep, so I'm here to tell you it does get better. Somebody loves you. I love you. Don't even know you. And you can always hit any of us up. Any older gay people that you see online, most of us will be pretty cool to help you, or find somebody to talk to. You probably know somebody. I'm the guy at the grocery store that you probably don't even, you might know I'm gay, and not to say I'm a role model, but, I might be someone that you could confide in, through your, just in a public place. But this is getting stupid. Anyway, so I am here to just let you know it gets better. Stick in there, hang in there. All the things I would have missed had I died. I would have missed the first black president. I would have missed Beyonce and Single Ladies. Can you imagine? I would have missed Glee. I would have missed Desperate Housewives. I would have missed meeting all these people that I know that are in film and TV that I do videos for now, that I think are really incredible people. People that, enrich my life on a daily basis. You have no idea. It's crazy. And, and I've learned to accept. And the thing about being gay, I think the biggest thing about being gay is you're a minority. You learn to accept other minorities and people that are different. You might be gay. But I always say I was dating somebody that just had a hard time being gay because they didn't see people like them. They thought they were uber masculine, And, it wasn't until they met somebody else that was like them that they said, wow, that's the first person I met that was just like me, that was full-on gay. And I'm like, oh, wow, so you're probably gay then, right? But, there's a lot of denial going on, and I really hate to see people, have to hide and be on the down low and all that stuff. And it's just sad. It really is, because I live my life openly and honestly, and I've never experienced anything bad. You have job situations where you can probably done without a little bit of harassment, but you know what, you've got to laugh at it. You got to make your own jokes and learn to laugh at yourself. And I remember I used to work with a guy that was really religious, and he was constantly saying, I'm going to hell, and don't you worry about Jesus and the afterlife and God. And I'm like, you know what, do they have hymns at your church? And you say, yeah. And I said, do they have an organ at your church? He's like, yeah. I said, well, man, I'd like your church, because hymns and organs are two of my favorite things. And it just broke the ice, and after that, he just had mad respect for me, because we were, we got along. We met in the middle. He was extreme and I was kind of extreme, and what do? You just kind of, you have to kind of laugh your way through it, and you can't hate other people even though they're hating you. And I think there's a lot to say regarding religion in America, especially today with all the stuff that's going on with Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and the Bishop Eddie Long situation, which is horrible, and and all these teen suicides. It's just atrocious. I can't sit back. I really didn't want to do this video, because I thought I really don't want to put myself out there like that, and there's things that even my own family doesn't know. But if it'll save one life, I'll do it. So if I'd had somebody doing something like this when I was coming up, and showed how much they cared, and there were gay actors and people that were out of the closet. I mean, when I was growing up, we had Liberace and, God, who else? Rip Taylor. I don't know if he's even gay. But just just the kind of the scary ones that we weren't really wanting to be our role models. So. How long is this? Anyway, so I'm going to cut off here and just say, enjoy your life. Life can be good. It really can be. And I know there's people that have really hard times at school and stuff. And you just have to find your own place. Go to a counselor. There's people in your area that can help you. Some churches are cool. You can find, a Unitarian church or Church of Christ. Those are guys who are pretty gay friendly, depending on what city you're in. I'm not saying shun religion, but it was the foundation of my life. So that's where I learned to love and accept love and to love other people. And oddly enough, most of the people that I grew up with, that I went to church with, are still my friends. They don't judge me for being gay. They don't judge me, for whatever, and so, yep. I'm just going to sign off, and this is Jeff Hobbs, aka Jackie Brown, for those that know me as Jackie Brown, and have a great day, great life, and live it to the fullest, because, today can be sad, but tomorrow can be a brighter day. And and if you want to go back to the whole religious thing growing up, joy does come in the morning. So I've never met her, but that's what I hear. Anyway, good night, love you, bye bye.